Hey everybody, what's up, man? Passport Rod checking in. I know I talked about this one time before. I know I mentioned it one time before. I was talking about these zines that you get when you're on the road. When you're picking up press and stuff like that, or you're looking for press for your product, service. I think I was talking to musicians when I said it before. But when you pick up local zines as a musician driving through areas, the trick to it is finding articles. This one, El Observador is one out here in California, but the trick is when you're in different areas, find stories written on bands or solo artists or rappers or whatever that are performing in those areas. Find out who wrote the stories and then send them your press releases. It's almost a shoe-in if you can tie your stories in, but I'll fill you in on that. But here's the rest of the story when I told you the first time, or when I recorded it the first time, just never posted. But I just wanted to add that little bit in. Passport Rod, man, Prince EQ. Check it. I mean, I'm being dead serious with you. This is how I collected all of my email addresses to all the writers that wrote about rap music, rap concerts, stuff like that. I would pick up local magazines like this, paper magazines in little small towns, especially music towns. You'd be surprised at how many places you'd find these things, and they're useful, with useful resources. My resource out of them were email addresses to people that wrote about artists that was in my genre at the time. So, and after I got published in these magazines and these, after I got articles published, I just take copies of the articles and clip them and start posting them online and sending them around too. You use all of that stuff. It's almost like a digital scrapbook of your stuff. But I mean, this was 20 years ago when I was doing it, but I'm just giving you a heads up on how you can increase your audience without spending money. But here's an example of one of the articles that I got. I think it was from the Mississippi Rap Report. But I took it and sent it to DJs in all 50 states. And I was sending messages with the copies of the clippings. I send messages like, oh man, y'all's newspapers in that area isn't talking about this guy. Everybody in the South is talking about this guy. Here's one report right here. And it worked. Then all of a sudden they would pick up on it because they think they're missing out on something. And it's like, hey, have you guys heard news about this new rap guy from the South? Prince EQ or whatever? But that's how it works. Anyway. Hey, what's going on, gang? Hey, listen, man, I know I talk to people a whole lot about PR, public relations, how you can spread your business, spread news about your business, spread word about your business. There's a tip. Here's a tip that I can give musicians. And it really, I guess it would fit to everybody that owns businesses or whatever, that everybody's trying to sell their own stuff. But for musicians though, man, one trick that I used to use years ago when I was a traveling musician, I used to, like when I would drive to shows, different cities doing shows, I would stop, man, in cities that I'm passing through, and I'd pick up like local, magazines or whatever, the what's happening magazines of the city. Like that one was the Memphis Flyer, Birmingham, Alabama, I got the Birmingham Times, I grabbed it when I was going through there. Really every city that I thought about leaving California, going back to Atlanta. But the reason I would do this though, grab, local magazines in little towns that I go to, because I'd flip through them. I get to where I'm going, I'd flip through them, man, and read some of the stories. Some of the musicians, like when you got new releases, when you got concerts coming to town, or anytime you find, and I used to focus on rap writers, so anytime you find people that write the kind of stuff that you were promoting, I'd save their email addresses, man, and toss the magazine somewhere, but I'd save all their email. I'd build my email book like that, my address list like that. And I would target journalists that wrote on my kind of music, and send them press releases and let them do their thing in their respective areas. But it's not only that, though. Like, once I got into the business world, I do it with heating and cooling, man. When I became a heating and cooling contractor, the same situation. I pick up industry-specific magazines, kind of read them, digest the stories, save the names and email addresses of people that write those stories. Because if I have something that fits into it, then I'll send them a story of my own with another press release, pushing my business to them. At any rate, I just thought I'd tell y'all that, man. I'm sitting out here in the Bay Area. It's about midnight. Well, I don't know, 12:30 in the morning or something in San Jose. But that was just on my mind, man. And I came out for, a little midnight toke, and then I'm going to crash out. So, but yeah, it's funny. But not only does this kind of press work for musicians, but if whatever industry you are in, just find the industry-specific emails, magazines, e-zines, or correspondence letters about your business. Just find your industry-specific press, man, and start accumulating names and building those names up in your address book. It helps when you're launching products and services. But that's just one of the little tips or one of the little tricks I used to use while I was driving across the Southeast. Just collect little magazines in every little town you go to, every time you stop for gas, or every time you stop and get a burger or whatever. They have very valuable information in them. Plus, you find out, who the publishers are. Sometimes you can knock out a whole state through one publisher and one press release. They'll just change it up with all of their papers or magazines in that state. It's pretty wild, man. At any rate, I'm just having some ideas. Thought I'd say that. But y'all have a good night, man. We're building businesses, man. Peace, gang.